Review Chapter 8, 1 through 6. We're going to start with number 21. We did all these in class today, but I promised you a video, so here we go. All right, we need an area of the square. This is the area. We need to factor to find the length of one of the sides. I notice that this is a squared. I notice that the 625 and the 9 are both perfect squares. So I can make this a perfect square trinomial. The square root of 625 is 25z. The square root of 9 is 3, and that's going to be a minus in between because the 150 is negative. Now that's the area of the square. That means that each side is 25z minus 3. So the question is, what is the perimeter? Well, I have 4 sides to the square, so that makes 25z minus 3. And when you distribute, you get 100z minus 12. Now I need to take and multiply 15, where the z is, minus 12, and that gives you 1488 feet. Number 22, we have a rhombus, which has 4 sides, and the expression is 12x plus 28. I need to factor this expression. Since when I factor, I always have to look for a greatest common factor first. I notice that they both have a 4 in common. Inside the parentheses, that's going to be 3x plus 7. Well, since a rhombus has 4 of the same length sides, that means that each of these sides is going to be 3x plus 7. Then I need to find the length when x is 8, so 3 times 8 plus 7 is 31 feet. Number 23, if the area of a parallelogram is 8, I need to find all the different combinations that multiply to give me 18. That would be 1 times 18, 2 times 9, and 3 times 6. That's for the length and the width. But also 18 times 1, 9 times 2, and 6 times 3. That actually does change when you have height and base. Whoops, this should be the height and the base instead of length and width. All right, so we have 6 answers, and these are 6 of my answers. All right, number 24. I have the area, x squared plus 16x plus 28. They give me that the length is x plus 14. I have to find out what the width is so that it equals x squared plus 16x plus 28. Well, 14 times 2 is 28. I need an x plus, and 14x and 2x is my 16x. So my width then is x plus 2. Then it tells me to find the perimeter. So I have 2 x plus 14s, and I have 2 x plus 2s. I need to add all that together. That gives me 2x plus 28 plus 2x plus 4, which equals 4x plus 32. That is the perimeter. Number 25, again, they give us the area of the square. We have to factor that in order to find the perimeter and the expression for one side. So I need to take the 4z squared. I notice that 4z squared and 81 are perfect squares, so I'll be able to fill in 2z minus 9 by taking the square root of those. It's a perfect square trinomial, so there'll be a square on the outside. I have to find the expression for the perimeter, but first I need to know what one side is. One side would be 2z minus 9. If you square that to get a square, then that means one of the sides is 2z minus 9. For the perimeter then, I need to multiply everything by 4. That gives me 8z minus 36. Then I might need to plug in the 10 for the z, and that gives me, minus 36. Ooh, that disappeared there. And then when I add that all up, that gives me 44 feet. Okay, number 26. I'm giving the area of the addition. So that's x squared plus 10x minus 100. I already know that this piece is x minus 10. So I know x minus 10 times something is supposed to equal x squared plus 10x minus 200. Well, this has got to be a 2 because 10 times 2 is 200. They need to add to give me not a 2, a 20. And they need to add to give me a positive 10. That means this needs to be x plus 20. That gives me my 200. That's x squared. And if you add those together, it gives me 10x. So this is the width, and the length is going to be x plus 20. Now I need to find the area of the original house. That means this part is x plus 20. The original house is this piece. I already know that this is x plus 10. Across the side here would be x plus 20. So to find the area, that means I need to multiply. If they give me the area, I have to factor, but if they don't know what the area is, then I have to multiply. So I'm going to multiply x plus 20 times x plus 10. X times x is x squared. 20 times x is 20x. 10 times x is 10x. That adds together to give me 30x. And 20 times 10 is 200. So the area of the original house is x squared plus 30x plus 200. On number 27, it's going to take quite a bit of space, and we've already done this once. I hope this helps to do it again. The first thing I need to do is take this area and find the length of both sides. So over here, I'm going to write my area out, and I notice they all have a 3 in common, so I'm going to take out a 3. That gives me 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. Since there's a number in front and it's not a perfect squared, I'm going to slip and slide the 3 to the end. So that gives me 3x squared plus 2x minus 3. I need to find two things that multiply to give me 3 and add to give me 2. So that's going to be a 3 and a 1. Now the 2 has to be positive, so the x plus 3 and x minus 1. Now I need to slide the 3 back under, and that gives me 3x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. Now just a minute ago I saw that this 3x minus 1 is the width. So therefore I know that the width is w and the length is going to be x plus 1. Okay, so we have the width and the length. So the width that we were looking for is this x plus 1. All right, now we need to find the length and the width for the second set of problem. This is a greatest common factor of 3, so that leaves 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. I need to do a slip and slide now, which is x squared plus 4x plus 3. That gives me x plus 3 and x plus 1. Now I need to slide the 3 back under, and I'm going to end with 3x plus 1 and 3x plus 1. Now I know that x plus 1 is my length for both of them. Therefore, this has got to be the width. Now I need to find the difference between the new one, the new one, which is 3x plus 1, and subtract 3x minus 1 to find out what the difference between them is. That changes my signs. The 3x cancels, and 1 minus negative 1 is 2. So the difference between the remodeled and the old is 2 feet. All right, number 28. I need to find the area of the big square. That's x squared. The area of the small squared is 4y squared, and I need to find this shaded part, which is the subtraction sign. This has two terms. There's no greatest common factor, so it is a difference of 2 squares, which means I need 2 parentheses and 2 different signs. This is a DOS, x's, and then 2y, and 2y multiplies to give me 4y squared. All right, number 29 is basically the same thing, but now we have a rectangle. So I need to find the area of the large rectangle, which is going to be 72x squared. The area of the The area of the smaller rectangle is 32y squared. I need to subtract these. Now I'm thinking that these are going to be difference of squares. The only thing is the 72 and 32 are not perfect squares. So I think I should always try to GCF first, and they both do have a 8 in common. That gives me 9x squared minus 4y squared. Now I have a difference of squares. I'm going to drop the 8 down. 3x plus 2y and 3x minus 2y. Final answer. And our last word problem of the day, we have a Japanese rock garden. This is the area of the Japanese rock garden. Remember, this could be the splashdown pool. It doesn't really matter that it's a garden. We just need to factor this polynomial. So the first thing I need to do is take out a common factor of 3. That leaves me with 10x squared plus x minus 2. There's a number in front. It has 3 terms. They're not perfect squares, so I need to do slip and slide. That gives me x squared plus x, which is 1x, minus 20. So I need to think of 2 things that multiply to give me negative 20 and add to give me 1. I know that it's going to be x plus and x minus because the 20 has a negative sign. I need to think of 2 things that are 1 apart that will multiply to give me 20. Well, that's 4 times 5. When I add them together, the 4 needs to be negative so that the 1 will end up being positive. So the 4 goes with the negative and the 5 goes with the positive. Now I've got to slide the 10 back under, and that gives me x plus 1/2. Make sure you always reduce these fractions, and x minus 2/5. Clearing the fractions, I need to multiply this first set by 2. So that gives me 3, 2x plus 1, because these 2's will end up canceling, and 5x minus 2. All right, that's it. Make sure you finish up your 12 to 20 tonight, and remember, do no more than 12 to 20. All right, we have a math joke here. What is represented in this little box? It is a binomial. Ha 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 ha. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye.